my name's Kim Gilchrist. I work with the Community Food and Ag Coalition, or CFAC, and we, along with a bunch of other organizations, the Missoula Food Bank, the Missoula County Public Health Department, the Missoula Urban Indian Health Center, Montana Women Vote, the Montana Food Bank Network, we've all worked together to put on this Missoula Eats food access event, and it's the first one, we think, that's been held in Missoula, and we'll have events going all day, from smoothie demonstrations. We'll have resources available throughout the day. We'll have a lunch and learn about voting and making your voice heard in our legislative system, and then we'll close the day with a Farm Bill listening session with Senator Tester.
So there is this whole day's worth of events going on, and the first thing of the day is just to talk about what food is offered here, and kind of like going through a grocery store. So, should we just start with our group? Yeah. Okay, cool. So I'm Katie Burton, and I'm a registered dietitian. I don't really give grocery store tours all the time. I actually work at WIC. But as a dietitian, I get to know a lot about different foods, and the grocery store is kind of our food access, right? So it's a good place to have these conversations. Come on over. Anyone can join us at any time during this tour, so we'll just be very open-minded.
I'm sure it's a nice building.
Yes, this is a really nice building. We'll let Kim keep doing what she's doing. Okay, so here we are at a grocery store. Is this a typical overwhelming experience for us sometimes? Yeah.
Not really, because I work in retail, so it's not.
Okay.
It's not overwhelming.
Okay.
When you work in it,
You just kind of realize there's lots of choices.
there's lots of choices.
What's one thing that we could do before we go to the grocery store?
Making a list.
Make a list.
Eat, yeah.
That's awesome. Yes, make sure that you eat something before you go to the store. What happens when we're hungry?
Just impulse.
Yes, we impulse shop. Yeah. Who do we normally bring to the store with us?
My kids.
No one. Maybe our children.
Put more shop before
What happens when we have multiple parties with us and we don't have a list?
we grab whatever like each one wants
Yeah.
without a plan.
Yeah, right? Yeah, exactly. We tend to do that. And so that impulse becomes multiplied by however many people are there. And our cart can fill up even faster than what we intended. So that's definitely something that can affect our nutrition and then also our budget too. Because if we're there with an intent to only spend within our weekly budget, then many other influences can affect that. So here we're going to just treat this as like a normal walk around a store, and I'd like to start in this section, and this includes this area here as well. And what would we call this section? We call it produce. So what do we see here in produce? There is lots of fruit.
Vegetables,
Yeah.
potatoes.
So what's involved with picking any of these items out? What do we need to consider? How we're going to use them. Do you think that it takes extra effort with produce? Yeah. There's different cooking methods involved. There's obviously some chopping that might need to be taken place. We might need to follow a recipe.
Shelf life.
Shelf life. So that's a really good point as well. So do you think that certain things are going to last longer than others? Yeah. So we might want to make choices based on storage at our house. and how long we're going to be able to keep something, that's where that meal planning really sets in. Because if we have a recipe that needs fresh produce, maybe we would use that first in the week and then make our choices. So, yeah, why don't we walk over to that area actually? So a lot of this can last quite a while.
I just want to say I'll be back hopefully close before 11. I have your cell phone number.
Perfect.
I'll text you when I'm on the way.
Okay. Okay, so this is just the continuation of produce, obviously. We see that there is some items that come already chopped, and then there are other items that are raw in their natural state. Do you think that this product might be more expensive? Because it's already been processed. So one way to save some money at the grocery store would be to process it yourself. Also, anytime that you already process a food item, what happens to it?
Loses nutrients, salt gets added, maybe things we don't, that's the problem.
Sure.
We eat way too many processed foods.
The shelf life too.
It affects the shelf life, it affects what might be added to it. The item usually oxidizes right away, so it might go bad faster, and certain things might be added to it so that it will actually have a longer shelf life. Hopefully it's just citric acid, but we don't necessarily know in all cases. So if we have access to a cutting board and a knife, our best option will probably just be the actual item itself. And then it also cuts down on waste, right? So, what's that?
Contamination,
Yep.
if the food wasn't processed, you know, that even happens in our country, you know,
Yeah,
wasn't processed. Or if people
exactly.
use dirty utensils when they process, you know, cut the,
Right. We don't know the whole story before it got to our eyes. So it's kind of good to see exactly what you're getting and how you're going to process it yourself. Being able to clean and wash it in your own space has its own issues with contamination, but
because I had a coworker ask me, a young fellow, he said, I keep getting sick, my girlfriend. And he said, how do you cook eggs? He said, we're cooking our eggs and sausage together. And I said, well, you don't want to do that. I said, you want to cook your breakfast and meat separately and then cook your eggs.
right.
Well, he said, I don't. But so many people grow up now, nobody cooks really. They don't learn at home, you know. School doesn't teach it.
Right, how would you know? I mean,
Yeah, how
if you're heating things up, we think that all the pathogens are just being destroyed. Yeah, that's a really good point.
No, he said, he told me it made a difference. He said they started cooking their stuff separately.
And they felt better.
He said they felt better.
Okay.
So,
And that is kind of the same with produce too. There's a risk for bacteria on fibrous foods that have the potential for pathogenic growth. So even whatever we get at the store, we would just want to make sure that we give a little bit of elbow grease and some running water. One of the best ways to clean produce is just fill your sink with cool water and just dunk it, especially lettuce. And then that way all the any kind of dirt or materials will kind of fall away. And you can use a salad spinner. And then you'll know that whatever might be lingering on there from the grocery store is probably not there anymore. Okay, let's go to this section next. So let's start in this top corner. What do we see up there? Ice cream. What else is up there? There's a lot of things. You should come look.
Do you mean
kind of
like
a
the first
mingling.
couple shelves?
Yeah, let's do the first couple shelves because maybe not this one, but this row and this row. Yeah. Since they're packaged processed foods, do you feel like you sometimes get distracted by these items at the store? No? Yeah.
I've been doing it. My daughter is in high school and she gets distracted.
Oh, sure. I just want to see what this is. It's coconut. At-home smoothies. So, what is in a smoothie that we make at home?
Fruit.
Fruit,
Maybe yogurt, water.
yogurt, yeah. Orange juice, yeah, totally.
I don't know how good they are for you though, really. Tell you not to really drink a bunch of juice.
Right.
Our old store manager, he used to make us smoothies. You know, he did that for us. And gosh, they were just delicious. They were super good, and he didn't put any sugar in there.
Nice.
I think he used orange juice. And I think he might have put some yogurt. I'm not sure if he put yogurt, but gosh, they were so darn good.
That's awesome.
But I don't know how good they really are for you.
Well, I mean, if you're making it from scratch, you know, most likely it's going to be just the fruit and then some kind of base and some kind of flavoring maybe, whether it's orange juice or, I mean, even banana adds texture and adds sweets like sugar. So I think it's interesting, like this is a Jamba juice mix, and which is a company, obviously, that this is some kind of proprietary blend. And we don't necessarily know everything that's in here until we look at the ingredients and see that it's not just fruit and maybe some dried milk powder or something to simulate yogurt. We can see that it's strawberries and non-fat yogurt, fat-free milk, bananas, water, sugar, and then it has this, if you look here on the ingredients, it has this, yeah, read it.
Fulvic acid and citric acid, xanthan gums, something else I don't know about.
Yeah, would we add all those things in our smoothies at home? Yeah. Most likely we would not have those on our shelves. Some of us now have xanthan gum on our shelves if we're baking gluten-free. But that's all about texture and about the item not separating when you're actually making it. So there is a sense for this being in the product, but it definitely differentiates from the products that we can make from home with raw ingredients versus some of the packaged stuff. And do you feel like this might be expensive at the grocery store? Yeah. And when I feel how many strawberries are in here, and I could compare this to just a frozen bag of strawberries, you're probably getting more in the frozen bag of strawberries and can just add whatever you have already in your home. So it's easy to get distracted by these items that have other ingredients we don't necessarily need in our diet. And ice cream, of course. Lots of ice cream varieties. And we'll talk a little bit more about dairy around the corner. But sugar, is that an essential part of our diet? No. No, I think this is a really interesting time in nutrition because the dietary guidelines just came out, like the updated version in 2015. And they basically said that sugar just doesn't even have a place in our caloric intake every day. Like it's not supplying any nutrition to our daily value. And so the focus should be on these primary food groups, which is satisfying what our bodies actually need. And so that's why sugar is discretionary and it does not add any nutrition to our normal needs. So I thought that was an interesting way to change the education a little bit. Because on the food pyramid, it was part of it. And so now things have changed quite a bit. It's good or bad. Okay, let's look at these frozen foods. And even like the mashed potatoes up here. You guys like to buy frozen veggies?
I think they're very fresh. I worked at Birdseye when I was a college student. I worked at Birdseye and they frozen corn and peas, and they make forward there too. But you know that corn, it was processed very, very quickly
Yeah.
from the time it hit the factory until it was frozen and put into bags.
That's awesome that you know that.
Well, it was really interesting in that facility. It was so clean. You know, it was very, very clean.
Yeah.
That to me, frozen is sometimes, to me, I don't know if it's maybe better than fresh. Fresh is old or, you know.
So that's an excellent point. The benefits of frozen vegetables is that typically they go right off of the vine and they put them in bags and they're frozen right away at their ripe freshness.
Right, and they don't put salt with them, they can. You know, and stuff.
There's no preservative on frozen vegetables. So it's a really good option, especially in Montana where our seasonality is short. We could also freeze at home, but it does take some extra packaging that we might need to purchase, some other form of mechanism to seal it. So this is a good option at the grocery store as well. And what else do we have here? Yeah, all the corn down here and the mixed blends. Sometimes these things come with packs of sauces. What do we do when it comes with a sauce pack in it? I mean, we would add it, right, to the prepared vegetables.
Tasty once in a while for a treat.
Right.
For a treat.
Do you guys tend to look at the nutrition label or the ingredients on those seasoning packets? Yeah.
Read everything. I can't help it.
Does anything alarm you on that?
No.
I
I
don't-
mean, yeah, some of it I wonder what it's doing in there.
Right.
You know, I do.
I was curious if we could find any. This one's lightly sauced. Do you think there's any allergens in this that we should be worried about?
What's an allergen?
What do you think?
Like a chemical? That's so preservative?
No, something that you wouldn't even guess.
Does it have butter in it? Something like milk?
Has milk in it. So this is a lightly sauced garden vegetable medley. And does it say that it has any allergens on the front of it? No, it doesn't. So if a lot of children these days, I'm seeing this a lot more frequently, have some kind of milk allergy, whether they're allergic to the protein or whether it's the whey or the casein. I doubt that the milk is in that large of quantity to affect like a lactose issue. But the fact that it's in here and it's not on the front makes me feel like no matter what, take a look at the ingredients. It does say underneath contains milk, so that's good to know. The milk is in the natural flavoring of this. Interesting. It's suspicious. So even with our vegetables, make sure we look for potential allergens. Before we move on, I see that there's processed meats here too. Bacon, hot dogs, bologna. Where do they fit in our diet?
They shouldn't fit.
They shouldn't fit. Yeah, I mean, what's something that is really important to us as consumers? It starts with a C. That's really important. What's another thing?
Calories. CC.
That could be. Life is super busy.
Oh,
Convenience. Convenience and cost are huge. And items like this, it's quick protein, right? And put it on a sandwich. We could throw those hot dogs in boiling water for our children. So it's based on cost and convenience. It's not a bad thing, right? This one doesn't even have a nutrition label on it.
When I was growing up, high quality protein was not.
Yeah.
Because my mom used to make roasts. They were huge.
Yeah.
Beef roasts.
And you could slice it up and
Yeah.
yeah.
We made barbecue beef with it. We'd have dinner with, and then we'd have
Yeah.
great mom would make gravy and stuff.
Take a look at this. This is a ham and cheese loaf.
Yeah, I don't buy that stuff.
So this would be like your typical deli meats. Why do you think those are cheaper than buying ham? It's very cold. I'm sorry.
Oh, maybe it lasts longer than ham.
It does, yeah.
processing costs they're going to prep for you, and I mean, I'm sorry, the processing. So like the bigger cuts of meat, like the fresh cuts of meat, are the ones that are going to be the higher price, whereas that's like the scraps.
I think that's a really good point, is that all that ham from an actual roast, that's all ham. But there's a lot of items in this product that add no nutritional value, could potentially do harm. They're super cheap. So it fills the gaps in between the bits of actual ham. So then that way it can be a cheaper product on the market and can satisfy us to some extent in the moment. But we don't often look at ingredient labels for something like a deli meat because we are making assumption when we look at a label that it's ham.
Do you think it's accurate, the protein content in it?
I do. Nutrition analysis usually is done by the company itself, so that can be a little hard to trust. But at the same time, these analyses have been regulated by the Food and Drug Administration. And when you look at the comparison across the board, an actual slice of ham has how many grams of protein, you think? Like, let's say you take that roast and you slice it and you have a nice 3-ounce slice of ham.
Like 20 or so grams?
You're on the money. Yeah, so right around 20 grams is 20 to 25 grams for red meats, for porks, is that 3-ounce slice of actual meat. So when you look at this, how many grams is one slice?
Is 3 grams.
Okay. And so there's 3 grams of protein in one slice. So if we compare that, I guess if you probably took 3 of those slices, it would equal 3 ounces of an actual piece of ham. So that's less than half of grams of protein in this versus cooking the whole ham. I think that's a huge difference in what we're trying to get nutritionally. This might feel like it's the best bang for your buck, but really that large roast that we can slice will actually be the best bet.
My daughter were here to listen to you.
Yeah.
You need to come to the high school.
I would love to do that.
She goes to Hillgate.
Nice.
Suggest it.
Okay.
A person like you needs to go and talk to these young folks. Because a lot of their parents, I think, they don't know either. I mean, they're busy.
Totally. And this is the easiest thing.
Busy now, and that's why people buy these things. I do sometimes myself.
Yeah.
I work a lot of hours too, and I'm tired.
I totally get it.
But you need to go to the school.
Yeah.
You need to tell me your name again.
I'm Katie. Yeah, I will. Well, let me put this away. Yeah, I think that.
You need to go talk to the school.
And the influence on adolescents and children on their parents is really large. You're right. Because like we were talking about before, like going shopping with your kids can really influence your purchases. But also when you're home and you're making meals for them, if they refuse it, what does that do for your meal plan and your budget? You might have to make something else for them or get frustrated or...
You know what? When I was growing up, you didn't like what was on the table, you could go to the kitchen and you could make yourself a peanut butter sandwich.
Sure, that's the only other option.
There weren't all these options. We didn't get them.
Short order cooking doesn't help anyone.
And see, my mom, you know, I gotta shut up.
Oh no, totally. Let's go over here because I think this will be a good difference between the whole product and what we were seeing over there. Some of these things are individually wrapped, so they're not going to have a nutrition label on it. But you can imagine this cut. This cut here. Yeah, it looks like trout or salmon.
Lake trout.
It's a lake trout.
They do that up Flathead Lake.
Okay.
Do like a fishing contest and they process it all.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we can see where it came from. I can tell you that there's nothing added to this, especially because we do see a little freezer burn on here. So nothing is keeping it in like a pristine shape. We can easily defrost this, right? What's the best way to defrost this?
Fridge. Put it in a...
Put it in the fridge. Slowly thaw it.
We're in a bowl of cold water.
Yep, bowl of cold water.
It's usually seafood thawed for...
Yeah, it's very cold. I'm going to put it down. Seafood does thaw really quickly. What do you think, what are some mistakes that people make when they're thawing meats or fish?
Microwave.
Microwave? Yep.
Hot water too.
Hot water? Yep. And you know that sometimes that could even happen in restaurants when we go out. So that's something to think about. So that's why it's nice to prepare foods at home, because we know the proper way to thaw something and bring it slowly up to temperature. If it hangs out in the danger zone for too long, do you know what the danger zone is?
Is it room temperature? Is that bad? That's how I do my meat, so now I know I'm doing it wrong.
Well, and so a good way to do it, just to go back to that method, put it in a bowl, put your frozen meat in a bowl, put it in the sink, and run cold water over it continuously. And then that way that water will kind of funnel back out into the sink and it'll stay fresh. And when we have it hanging out in room temperature, that is inviting pathogens the entire time it's hanging out at room temperature. So something to think about. I mean, when you bring it to temp, you're going to season it however you want and cook it right away. That's the best method. But going back to that comparison of raw versus added foods, this might be our better choice, right? Yeah. Do you think per pound that this might be more expensive than that?
Yes.
Yeah. So then there's the question of, well, if we can plan accordingly, we could probably eat something like this, especially if we portion it out, over a longer period of time. And in our minds, what does it mean when we invest in a more expensive item? What do you think happens?
It feels like we're spending more money.
Do we value it more? To some extent? Yeah. I feel like sometimes what I hear in my counsel is, well, it was only $2, so who cares if I eat the whole package? And so then you've doubled maybe what your needs were for the time because you devalued that food item. So sometimes this complete product that costs just a little bit more, you're going to portion it out appropriately and eat it appropriately. So psychological eating components. All right, let's move on from this area. Do you guys have any questions about frozen meats? Okay. Oh, here's some more too. And it looks like we might even have some local meats in here. That's cool. Venison. So why might I choose venison instead of beef for my burger? Fat?
Not as much fat.
Not as much fat. What do we know about deer versus cattle?
Oh yeah.
How much do deer exercise? A lot. So they're probably more lean. And that nice swirling of fat, it just looks different on a deer. So you might need to prepare it differently. You might add a little fat to your venison. But you have that choice when you're cooking at home, right? You can choose a healthy fat to incorporate into your venison. Whereas cattle, most likely, because of their lifestyle, is going to have a lot more. And what kind of fat is this with, let's say, the fat that's in beef? What kind of fat is that? Is it unsaturated or saturated? Saturated fat. So the fats that come from animals, those are saturated fats. And what do you think our body does with those fats? That's a hard question. Well, in the big scheme of things, saturated fats have a hard time with our hearts. So, and with our blood vessels, I suppose. Whereas unsaturated fats, they get metabolized a little bit different. Saturated fats definitely have a place in our diet, but when we have a 6-ounce piece of meat or even a 12-ounce steak or something like that, do you think that also increases our amounts of unsaturated fat saturated fat getting into our diet too? Yeah, probably. So it has a huge impact on our heart health. So that's why when we can pick leaner meats and eat an appropriate amount of meat, then we're probably going to be in a better ball game to keep our heart healthy.
We're going to feel better.
Yeah.
We don't overdo that. I mean, but I feel that as I've gotten older too. I don't really care to eat really salty, processed foods.
Yep. Salt, sodium nitrates are usually added to preserve things, and that's just adding to our daily total of salt that we need. Yeah. I love that they have like such big items here to take home. That's awesome. Because you could do that a lot for a family of 5. So thinking about who you're going to be serving too.
Right. There's only three in our household.
Yeah.
We have more people to feed, you know. We used to make food. That's why we made like stroganoff and spaghetti and all those things too, casserole.
Nice. I mean, that's what you have to do.
The old tuna casserole.
Yeah, the whole tuna casserole. Yeah, definitely thinking about who you're feeding and your family size matters. If you're just cooking for one, how are you going to preserve it so that you can eat it again, whether it's freezing or using containers, things like that. So this, I might not be cooking this just for myself, but what are we looking at? Pork. It's whole sirloin. Yeah. All right, let's come over here. Any thoughts on poultry at all? Chicken, turkey? Any questions? Do we think that poultry might be healthier, less healthier than red meats? What are your thoughts on having them as part of your diet? Yep. So less fat.
Yeah, less fat. And it's a good source of protein.
Yeah.
Although the doctor, he told me that turkey has more iron. And so that's what I was expecting. They said eat and salmon.
Isn't that crazy? Because I think most people think iron, they think red meat.
Yeah, but he said turkey.
Yeah. Yeah, so there's definitely many different ways to get minerals like iron.
Yeah.
And we have to think outside of our box a little bit. And
Broccoli and stuff. Don't some vegetables have iron in them too?
yeah, leafy greens, broccoli. Those are all good sources. Spinaches, yeah. And using a cast iron skillet.
I can't cook with one of those on my stove.
Yeah, darn. Yes, poultry can be part of a healthy diet, but you do need to think about what it may have been injected with in order to stay fresh.
Oh yeah, no, I don't like that stuff. I avoid it.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
that's another consideration for when we are making a plan for going shopping is not just our health for the week, but our health for the future. And you can always get local poultry, and most likely, since you're getting it either fresh or frozen, it was packed with less of a preservative for when you are gonna eat it or give it to your family. Okay, let's go to dairy. All the different percentages here. Anybody have a preference on milk fat percentage?
I love whole milk.
You like whole milk,
And
yeah?
I mean, I love cow's milk. You know, just cow's milk. But
Yeah.
there again, it's not pasteurized. But my family, they need to drink the no-fat milk. And they don't like it, but it's like, see, you need to go talk to them.
Yeah. Why are they drinking skim milk? Is it to lose weight or maintain weight or?
Because they're overweight.
Okay, let's look at this.
My daughter loves it.
What is the difference between this 1% milk and the whole fat? You know.
That has more fat than that one is.
How many grams of fat? You want to tell me on here? Per cup.
8 grams per cup.
And then just make sure that there's actually 1 cup. And then how many in this one?
2.5. A lot lower.
How many grams of fat did you think whole milk had in it? Yeah. So that's total fat, right? So there's other fat globules that are hanging out in milk. And that's why when we think, like, what's on yours for saturated fat?
1.5.
Yep. Okay. And that's typically what we think about is the somewhere around 3 to 5 grams of saturated fat is in whole. And so that's what you're thinking of, saturated fat. And for this one, it'd be around 1.5. That's a 1%. And does fat have more calories than protein or carbohydrates? What do you think? Does fat have more calories in it? It does. And that's why that
It does?
So there's 9 calories for every gram of fat, whereas there's only 4 calories for every gram of protein or carbohydrate. So when we, as a country, we're looking at the obesity crisis or just overweight in general, one of the ways that we see people are over consuming calories is through something like whole milk.
Well, I see what. Yeah, I see what you're saying now. Because if you eat a tablespoon of butter or a tablespoon of sour cream, it has a lot of calories.
It does, yeah.
You don't realize.
And it's a small thing.
I know. Yeah.
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 So it's interesting, right? Because how many calories do you have in yours?
110.
So there's 50 more calories in this one. How many glasses of milk does the dietary guidelines say that we should have a day as adults? What do you think?
Is it even a cup of milk or is it less?
It's around 2 to 3 cups a day, which is a lot. It's a lot. So that incentive to go from whole milk to skim milk or 1%, that might save us like 150 calories, which is kind of meager compared to all the other foods that we eat.
How much, like as far as your percentage of calories that you're supposed to, your caloric intake in a day, how much would milk make up then?
Dairy?
Yeah.
If we cut down, or if we have the 2 to 3
Like, how does that compare to like the total?
to the total,
Yeah.
it's probably about, well, it's a part of a carbohydrate, so somewhere around 10-15% of your day would be dairy. Yeah. Yeah. Here, let me take this. So yeah, milk has been emphasized a lot in our country versus others. And it's obviously bigger than just changing your milk fat percentage in terms of weight maintenance or loss for health. But I think it's still good to know that distinction of calories and amount of fat in different milks. Any questions about milk? Okay, let's move on down here. Any questions about eggs at all?
Yeah, I'll buy egg lines, bales to eggs.
What's up?
I said buy egg lines, bales to eggs if you can afford it.
Yeah. Eggs are great. We saw how much protein is in a slice of that meat loaf, that deli loaf. How many grams of protein do you think is in an egg? 6 grams for each egg. So it's a good source of protein. There is emphasis a lot nowadays with that we need more protein. And in reality, we don't need as much as we thought. If you were just to have that one slice of our ham that we roasted, that's 25 grams. If we had an egg for breakfast or 2 eggs for breakfast, that would already bring us up to 40 grams. And for a typical 150-pound woman, how many grams of protein do you think? Or a man, 150 pound. How many grams of protein do you think they need a day?
I think it's like 70.
Somewhere around 70, yeah. Yeah, it's about 50 to 70 grams of protein a day. And right now, especially with a 12-ounce steak, you're already exceeding that if you just have that one steak. And so something like an egg, you know, like that's actually kind of surprising that it has that much and how it can contribute to a well-balanced diet, even for someone who's like a vegetarian. Any difference between the brown eggs and the white eggs? Yeah, nutritionally they're the same. They just come from different kinds of chickens. So I get a lot that the brown eggs must be organic, so they must be good for you. And there are so many different ways to raise chickens. So that is not the reason.
That's why I like the egg ones best eggs though.
Yeah.
They taste like eggs they used to taste. Because I've eaten farm fresh eggs. I've eaten them all. I've tried all the, I've tried them all. Egg ones best to me are the best tasting eggs.
Nice.
And they have more omega-3 in them.
Yeah.
They're better for
You
you.
can tell with the yolk too. The yolk is a little bit brighter on the egg.
It is. It's brighter, and the whole egg looks like an egg should look. Because some of those eggs look so watery and
Right.
pale.
What affects the end product?
Diet. And
Chicken's
showing
diet.
around
Yeah.
What they're eating. They're getting bugs.
Yeah, totally. So that omega-3, what is the chicken eating to increase the omega-3s? What do you think?
For egg one's best, probably some sort of blend of
Proprietary
like,
blend
yes,
of seeds.
soybeans and
Soybeans, yes. So certain plant-based items are obviously going to be higher in omega-3s, and most of the time those chickens can consume some kind of blend, more so than just the typical grain-fed diet, and add those omega-3s to it. So that is an interesting food industry route that we're going down.
Well, it is. I watched a program where they were doing a hydroponic garden. I think in California. These two guys, they'd been like on Wall Street types, investment type people or something, and they wanted to open this hydroponic indoors.
Oh, yeah.
You know, it was quite
That's
an
awesome.
undertaking because they could sell like to restaurants. You know, California, they want arugula.
We are doing so many cool things.
Yeah.
I mean, it can be feared or it can be embraced. But as consumers, I think that's the exciting part. We can decide what we want to support and put in our body. So maybe the second thing is the more important thing.
A good point though. There's sometimes all of us we don't think. We don't think maybe what we're doing. You know, not only to our bodies but to the environment.
Absolutely.
I'm not an environmentalist by any means, but you know, we have to look at what we're doing. Because our earth is getting more crowded.
Yeah.
There's a lot more people.
And where are we going to put all those people's trash?
Exactly.
It's a huge problem.
Well, did you see it's a Dutch company? They've come up with a thing to skim the garbage out of the ocean. Did you see that? It's in the newspaper.
Oh, yeah.
It's really kind of interesting.
And so important for our oceans.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, what do you see when you look around?
Yeah.
It is a bunch of packaging.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
I moved out here from Baltimore. There's a couple companies that do that in the harbor in downtown.
Oh, yeah.
And they just are constantly pulling out trash and they recycle it and they build playgrounds and stuff from it.
Yeah.
Pretty interesting.
Yeah.
So there's ways. We need to learn from other places. We should. So there's a lot more prepared foods and some desserts down here. But I just want to take a look at bread really quick. I know she's working right now. But we see a lot of different options here. What do you think? No judgment at all. What would you grab if you were in this section, whether if it's for you or your family? What would you do? What would you take? Nice. Yeah.
That rice swirl is calling me out though.
Which one is
The
it?
rice swirl.
Yeah.
The rice swirl.
I don't know why, but
That sounds good. Yeah. What do you think?
Well, I like that Big Sky cracked wheat. The cracked wheat bread's really good.
Okay, awesome.
The orange
rosemary
one.
focaccia.
Rosemary
And of course,
focaccia.
We love the rosemary focaccia, but
So good. Yeah.
so good because you can toast it even in
Yeah.
the oven. We toast
Yeah.
it. And it's so good.
Make sandwiches on it and
make
things like that. What do you think is the difference between the loaves in the brown paper bags and the loaves in the plastic bags? Do you want to grab one of the La Petite ones? Because there's ingredients on that too. You're getting, yeah, you read me yours.
Wheat enriched flour, which is wheat flour, malted barley, niacin, iron, thymine, mononitrate, riboflavin, folio acid. I can't read that. Flat flour, water, sea salt, and sesame seeds.
Read me yours.
Mine says water, berry,
You must have a lot.
whole white flour,
Start at canola oil.
canola oil, cracked wheat, cane sugar, vital wheat gluten, wheat bran, yeast, salt, dough conditioner, wheat flour, which is wheat flour, ascorbic acid, and enzymes, cultured wheat, and vinegar.
That's actually not bad. That sounds pretty good. Some breads have a lot of extra stuff in there. This is made of flour, yeast, salt, and water. And they've added some herbs to it.
And it's made with enriched flour.
It is made with enriched flour.
And that's so important.
Yep. So this enriched flour does have all of the minerals in it that will make a pretty nutritious product. And this guy here has like 4 different kinds of dough enrichers and wheat gluten, and it's just all part of the processing, right?
I don't know what's in dough enhancers though.
The dough enhancer
You
is,
can buy it.
oh yeah.
But I don't know exactly what, if it's flavorings, and I'm not sure. I mean, I'm just kind of
Most of the time it's just that blend of minerals that is going to provide the structure for the product.
But something I didn't really realize either, think about those folic acid when you're carrying a baby. Because it's so important to the development of their spine. And that's why, you know.
Bread is an excellent source of folic acid. Do you think that white bread up there, the soft and big, has enough folic acid in it?
White flour, water, canola oil, cane sugar, yeast, salt, wheat cake flour, enzymes, wheat gluten, vinegar, dry yeast.
Again, not that bad. What is the the thing that is glaring to me, that is the difference between the two, is what? Something that shouldn't necessarily be in bread. Sugar. A lot of our foods that come in plastic bags, boxes, they have an excess of sugar. And you'll hear, we have a lot of refugee families coming in to town, and they say no matter what the food is, it is so sweet because it's not part of their palate. Whereas our foods, there's this expectation of like a sugar undertone. So, and it's also used as a preservative, right? Like it's a natural preservative to add something like a cane sugar. So I'm not incredibly surprised that it's there, but is that something that we want in our diet when we didn't even know?
Well, no, we don't need it in.
Yeah.
I had a friend from France and was horrified that our mayonnaise had sugar in it.
Yeah.
Horrified.
Right? And another good thing that we should be getting out of bread, other than folic acid, is what? It's another F.
Fiber.
Fiber.
Oh yeah.
And which bread has more fiber? Really, you know the bread that says 100% whole wheat? That's going to be our fibrous breads. Anytime we have that 100% of the grain itself, that's where we're going to get that fibrous material because it involves the entire grain. So it even has the outside husk or that shell that is holding on. And it has the inside with the bran and the endosperm. Those things we need for fibrous foods in our bodies. And they're full of nutrients. So that's why we would choose something like that bread versus the white bread and getting the best bang for your buck. Most likely those breads are around the same price. Yeah. Okay, so we need to be nearing the end of our tour. We can walk down this center aisle really quick just to finish up. We have peanut butter, canned fish. Anything you want to talk about with this peanut butter?
Probably sugar too. Which is good. I mean, it should be in peanut butter, but probably more than we need.
Salt, probably a lot of salt too.
What's the first ingredient in peanut butter?
Hopefully peanuts.
That is the first ingredient. What's the second ingredient?
Sugar.
What's the third ingredient?
Dextrose.
What's the fourth ingredient?
Maltodextrin.
Maltodextrin. So the first ingredient is the actual item. The next three ingredients, those are all sugar. All three. So, how do you feel about that?
Why couldn't they just say sugar?
Usually that blend of corn-based sugar and actual granulated sugar it is what it is. It's like an actual blend that can be processed with the peanuts, and it will give the ultimate taste of sugar without having to use the very expensive sugar itself. So often those corn sugars are involved because it's cheaper. And it does change the texture of a product too. Like if I just put a tablespoon of granulated sugar in something, probably going to taste it. So it's all part of that big picture. Like high fructose corn syrup or corn syrup, it is a liquid. So that responds differently in different food items, other than just the actual corn itself being blended. So there's multiple ways that our food companies can create blends to put this product on our shelf, but then it adds a lot of discretionary calories that do nothing to help us grow and develop, use our brains, have cellular generation that will actually keep us functioning, and have healthy organs. So it's all part of that bigger picture of whatever I put in my body today has huge effects even within 5 minutes, whether it's hormone regulation or our blood sugars, or in a couple years when we're doing blood labs and seeing that things might be a little off. And that diet can have a huge part in that as well. Sugar is one of those things that has a huge effect. Down this aisle, we have lots of just bagged grains like rice and cereal and pastas. Any questions about those? Brown rice? Do you think it's better than white rice? Why would it be better? Yeah, it still has its outer shell. So there's fiber, there's protein. It's gonna be better for us than a white rice, which is gonna be like a starchy paste and not provide a lot of good nutrition for us. We have Hot Wheel fruit snacks. So some more canned items, packaged goods, fruit, packaged fruit. Do you feel like these items can be distracting at the grocery store?
It's really tempting to pick
Yeah.
up a package of cookies.
Yeah. Yeah, and I feel like we've talked enough about how most of the time packaged goods, they have extra filler in them. That kind of just hang out in our bodies, and they're not used for energy, or used for energy too quickly. There's lots of extra sugar, lots of extra fat, and lots of extra salt. Salt should be like the biggest issue.
They're really inexpensive. Like Oreos are way cheaper than buying some other form of chocolate.
Yeah. Yeah, Oreos are a really cheap, sweet thing that, and it appears as though there's lots in there, right? So that might even last longer. Does anyone have any questions at all about what we've seen going up and down the aisles? Or?
It's been really interesting.
Yeah.
That part is
Cool.
really interesting.
Would you guys be willing to fill out the survey?
I have some tools here too. I have a lot. Because you're eating better on a budget. And then the next 2 pages, there you go. The next 2 pages on here, I'll give you one too. These are a meal planner. So you can actually sit down and write exactly what you can put together for the week so that you can make a grocery shopping list, which is the next page. And I like the way that this shopping list is written because it actually is divided by food group, which is something that we typically don't do. And when you think about your weekly budget, I just learned this actually, but like experts say, like from like a nutritional standpoint, out of $25, your vegetables should have the highest amount of money spent. So of $25, $6 should be going towards your vegetables. Do you think people do that in America? No. $5 should be coming in fruit. Your grains and your protein and your dairy should be around $4 out of that 25. Your protein even.
Together, all 3 of them? $4?
No, grains is 4.
Okay.
Grains is 4, protein is 4, and dairy is 4. And then $1 to $2 should be spent on fats. and any other foods that you eat. So if $1 is all you get for fats or any of these packaged goods, what does that say? It's almost like it doesn't even fit in your weekly budget. And maybe if we plan accordingly, we won't buy this stuff as much because it literally doesn't fit in our budget. So,
And I think honestly, we find if we don't eat all that stuff, we feel better.
absolutely.
We eat just more, I don't know, natural type food. We feel better. And we have more
Yeah.
energy. We eat
Yeah.
all that junk. I know, I eat that junk too.
And we'd save money.
Well, yeah, we'd save money, but we'd be healthier and feel better.
Exactly. Well, I really appreciate you guys hanging with me.
So I am Yolanda and I work for the Missoula Urban Indian Health Center. I'm a fitness technician as well as a community health assistant. So today I'm going to be doing Simbi Fit. So one of my questions is, do you guys have any injuries, past injuries, current injuries? Knees are okay, lower back? Okay. So what we're going to do, we're going to stand up. Place our feet on the ground, shoulder width apart. You put your band down, hon. And what we're going to do, we're going to walk in place. Get some the blood flow through you. And then you want to scoot away from your chair, hon. There you go. And what we're going to do, we're going to do hamstring curls. Hamstring curls. We'll start with our left. Here we go. Left. Right, there you go. Good. There you go. Keep going. Good. Bring your arms. There you go. There you go. So what we're going to do, we're going to do it for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring it to a high knee. Up, up, up. There you go. There you go. Give me 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Walk in place. There you go. Breathe in your nose and out your mouth. One more time, in and out your mouth. And we're going to start marching in 3, 2, 1. Stop. Take a deep breath in and out. This time we're going to raise your hands. Breathe in. Reach and stretch. And exhale. One more time in your nose. And release. Okay, this is where we're going to go in front of our chairs. Our feet are going to be right beside the chair arms. So what we're going to do, we're going to do 10 wide squats. When you go, after I get through counting 10, we're going to stand up and pulse for 10. Okay, we're going to work our legs. Remember to always breathe. I'll cue you on breathing. Okay, when you breathe, come in. When you come down, breathe in, come out, out. If you do not breathe, your blood pressure will rise. Okay, remember to breathe. Ready? We're going to start in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Here we go. Down, up, 1, down, 2, down, 3, good, down, 4, way to breathe, down, 5, down, 6, down, 7, down, 8, down, 9, down, 10, down and pulse. Give me 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Single squats. Go up, down. Great. How are you guys feeling? You feeling the burn? Good. Okay, bring your legs a little wider. There you go. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. One more time, down and pulse. Good. Breathe. Feel the burn. Give me 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Shake it out. Walk around your chair. Get the blood flow through your legs. Great. This time, we're going to go behind our chair, and we're going to do kickbacks. We're going to do 10 on each side. So 10 on each side, 10 pulses. Then we're going to switch 10 kickbacks, 10 pulses for 2 sets. Okay, bend your leg. Here we go. So bend your leg, hon. Just like that, yes. Okay, ready? Kickbacks for 10, 9, 8, good, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and pulse. Give me 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and hold straight out for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Relax. Shake that out. Left leg.
I was like kicking the wall. What is it?
No. Ready? Kickbacks for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and pulse for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Relax. Okay, so your choice. This is our challenge.
Oh man.
Oh man. So what we're gonna do, cherry pickers. When I say raise the roof, you raise the roof.
Okay.
Okay? Cherry pickers, you're just gonna listen to my cue. Up, down. When I say up, down, you're gonna go up, down. When I say up, down. You're just gonna do that. Okay, ready? This is all your own body weight. Listen to your body. If anything starts to hurt, just go shake it out and just jog and walk in place. Okay? Ready? Cherry pickers out and start picking. Bring your hands a little higher, hon. Good, good. Up. Down. Up, down. There you go. Good, good, good. And down. Up. Down, up. Down, up. Up, down. There you go, good. And raise the roof. Here, bring your elbows in. There you go. Good. You're raising the roof, raising the roof. Good. Good, good, good. And 4, 3, 2, 1. Cherry pickers, go. How you guys' shoulders feeling? Not feel the burn yet?
They've hurt a little bit.
Okay. Skin there, all right? Okay. Up, down, up. Keep going. What we're doing here, you're building your muscles in your shoulders as well in your deltoids, so you can feel it more here. Okay, up. Down. Good. Up. Good, good. Keep it there. Down. Good. Ready? Raise the roof. Feeling it yet? Good. So this is what you're doing here. A lot of fighters use this technique. Yeah. We use this a lot so we help us keep our arms up in the ring or in a cage. Yeah. So you guys get enough fighters of get a little taste of the fighter world.
Do you do boxing or do you do like?
My last fight was boxing.
Okay.
This one will be kickboxing. Okay, ready? Cherry pickers in 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold it up. Good. Almost there. Almost there. Good. Down. Up, down. Good, 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 good. Up. Good. Down. Woo, I'm starting to feel it. Up, down. Good, 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 good. And last time, raise the roof. Yeah.
The arm pushing it down. Oh no.
Yeah. Ready? In 4, 3, 2, 1. Shake it out. Okay, next, our last one. Grab your band. And this one's gonna work our chest. Okay, so you have no wrist problems, right? Okay, great. So make sure that you're not standing here, shoulder width apart, little bend in your knee, hold out, and now you're gonna come out like this and just pulse, just like that. Hold out and just pulse like that. Hold straight out. And small pulses, just like that. Good, good. Okay, ready? In 4, 3, 2, 1, up and pulse. Now listen to my cue. When I say left arm only, you only move the left arm. Okay? Good. Good. And left arm only. Challenging, isn't it? And switch arms. Good. Good. Breathe. Breathe in your nose, out your mouth, and together. Good. Oh yeah. Feel the burn. 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold out. And pretend you're driving a car. Good. Good. Get the vroom stuck in your head. 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold center. Bring it above your head and pulse. Good. Don't forget to breathe. Remember to breathe. 4, 3, 2, 1. Right arm only. 3, 2, 1. Left arm. Good. 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring it down. Hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Relax. How do you guys feel? Good. Okay, so put your bands down. Shake out your arms. Go side to side. There you go. Relax, like you're a rag doll, like a little kid that just wandering around, doing the Barney Shimmery Shimbara. 3, 2, 1. Shake it out more. Right arm up and behind. Good. Reach down your spine. Good. So what do you guys think?
Good. It's like things that doesn't take very long, but then like, oh yeah, I feel that.
Yeah, and switch. I do everything to sit and be fit. People with arthritis. Yeah, I have kids hit me up during the summer that want to learn boxing.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Well, it's the thing, because like I said, even just like a break sometimes because you get tired of standing or sitting in your office. It's like, oh, I should get one of these bands. And like,
Oh, yeah.
just, like,
Yeah. And relax, shake it out. Shoulder shrugs, ear to relax. Bring it up and relax. Prayer. Bring it down and then bring it up. There you go. You feel that in your forearms? Good. Good. For 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring it down and bring it up and hold. And just bring your chest forward. Roll your chest forward. So you here, roll it forward. There you go. 3, 2, 1. Bring it out and switch. Bend it to the right side, left side. Good. There you go. And switch. 3, 2, 1. Take your hands and stretch them. And then roll them. We don't use a lot, we use our hands a lot, so we need to roll them. Switch the other side. Good. The best way to strengthen up your fingers and your wrist, if you have any past injuries, put them in rice and do that. It strengthens them. Yeah. 4, 3, 2, 1. Relax. Stand beside your chair. One last time. Deep breath in. Reach into the sky. Deep breath in. Here we go. Up. And exhale. One more time. Breathe in your nose. Up and hold. And exhale. Thank you guys for coming. Yeah. You're welcome.
So I'm Jean Zozel. I'm the Executive Director of Garden City Harvest, and we are a local farming and gardening nonprofit. We have 4 neighborhood farms where we grow tons and tons of vegetables each year that we make accessible to everyone in the community regardless of income. We grow, for example, 20,000 pounds of vegetables a year for clients at the Missoula Food Bank, and we grow food for the PAV and for other outlets in town. We also have a community gardens program where we make, sorry, I'm looking at you. We also have a community gardens program where we rent garden plots to people and teach them to grow food to feed their own families. We have a farm to school program where we help school kids explore connections between farming and the food that they eat. And we have a youth development program where we hire at-risk teenagers and put them to work at our farms and teach them lots of life skills and job skills that help them to be more successful in life. Garden City Harvest has been in operation for 21 years, and we have 20 sites around Missoula where we grow for people, with people, yeah.
Hi, my name is Bonnie Medlin, and I work for FNEP, which stands for the Expanded Food and Nutrition Education Program, and I am employed through MSU Extension. We offer free cooking and nutrition classes to low-income families, and we currently have a rolling class open at the Missoula Food Bank in their new beautiful demonstration kitchen. So in our classes, we focus on meal planning, healthy eating, physical activity, food safety, and most importantly, how to stretch your food dollar. I think it's been in Montana for 50 years. We just had that anniversary come up. So yeah, it's a really great program for everyone in this community.
My name's Amy Pavlak, and I work for Western Montana Growers Cooperative. I run the CSA Share, which is a community-supported agriculture. Basically, it means that when you buy a share, you're supporting our local farms, and they're providing whatever they harvest throughout the season. So our summer share is 20 weeks, and you get a box of food every week, whatever they're harvesting. Right now, though, we just finished our summer share. This was the last week, and we start our fall shares in 2 weeks, and that's mostly storage produce. Beets, carrots, onions, apples that are storage apples, and we also do meat shares, egg shares, cheese shares, all from local producers. All of our produce is organic or Montana homegrown, which is the local certification for organic standards. We are partners in the Double Snap Dollars program, which means basically that you get a one-to-one match for anything that you're buying with local produce. So if you sign up for a CSA share, basically you pay half of it with your SNAP benefits, and the other half is covered with the Double Snap Dollars program. We're still taking enrollments, and we do deliveries October, November, December. All of our farms are local. I forgot to mention that. So anywhere from the Flathead down into the Bitterroot. And we deliver Missoula area, again, Bitterroot, Flathead, Mission Valley, Jocko Valley, and then Helena and Butte as well. And we have a website, wmgcoop.com, or you can call us at 544-6135 for information. The Growers Co-op is in its 14th year, and the CSA, it's our 9th year running the CSA.
I'm here representing Missoula Aging Services, and particularly the Senior Nutrition Program, which involves multiple things such as Meals on Wheels, Congregate Meal Program, and the Farmers Market Nutrition Coupons. We're here because we think that food nutrition and nutrition in the community is important for general health and well-being throughout. We hope to make people more aware of this, and I appreciate the opportunity to have an interaction with all the various groups that are here, all of which I think are similarly inclined. I myself have been involved with this for 12 and a half years and find it a very rewarding and worthwhile experience. The contact I have with both seniors and also disabled individuals in the community who need nutrition and food help is very valuable to me and to the community in general. Being involved with the Senior Nutrition Program, quite obviously funding from various government levels, including in Missoula, even the county and city council level, as well as nationally and federally. And obviously with the present decrease in funding for the various programs, this has a definite impact on us and is a great concern. We, I think, as a group, and particularly at Missoula Aging Services, have worked hard in being an advocate for various programs because we really see the people that are impacted indirectly by the budget cuts because we directly have lost funding and find it more difficult to provide support for the programs, which in many cases are those that impact. I've had many people on Meals on Wheels saying to me, I would die if I didn't have Meals on Wheels. I have nothing to eat. That happens. Not a real increase in the number of clients. I think that but we see a constant stream of people coming in. The reason there's not an increase is because obviously we work with an aging population and people become sick. They go into nursing homes, retirement facilities, etc. And so our number served does go up every year, but we also have a turnover with respect to the type of individuals we serve. We appreciate the opportunity to be at this, and nutrition is important, and if people need help, contact Missoula Aging Services and we'll deal with it.
Hi, I'm Rebecca Morley. I'm with the Missoula City County Health Department. I run a program called Eat Smart Missoula. And I work with people of all ages from birth and until our last days on earth. We need to have good nutrition in order to have a healthy life. And I help educate the public about healthy food and beverage choices. I work with daycares, work with schools, work with senior organizations, work with community events, and sit on several different boards and coalitions in order to help improve the nutrition environment in Missoula. I work with several different schools on their wellness councils, and I help co-facilitate the nutrition work group for MCPS schools. I'm available to go into the classrooms if teachers ask, and I'll do nutrition lessons for all age children from preschool all the way through college level. The Eat Smart program began in 2008.
Hi, my name is Andrea Dahl. I work with Summit Independent Living Center. We provide services for people of all ages with disability issues. We work with youth, helping them focus on finishing school and getting out in the community, living independently. We help them seek employment or future education. With adults, we help them with issues such as disability benefits, housing, a lot of the different social issues. We focus on Medicaid and Medicare. We attend legislative sessions every session to make sure that the needs in our community are met. We will also work with senior companion programs so that some elderly people in our community are able to stay in their home with the help of a companion to help them out around the house or provide them with the transportation they may not have otherwise. And that's just kind of the top of the iceberg for our services. Summit has been here in Missoula for 35 years. We're celebrating this year. We started out back in the early 80s, and we were limited as to who we could provide services for. When we went independently, we were able, first they just provided services for people using wheelchairs, and now we've expanded to all types of disabilities, whether it's physical, mental, neurological. We hit all those areas. Just contact us. Once a month we have an orientation session the first Friday of every month to just let people know what our services are and give them a little bit of our agency history. We also, well, you can look us up online. We have a Facebook page. You can give us a call and find out what kind of services we've got going. So.
Hi, I'm Arwen with the Missoula WIC program. It's been around in Missoula for about since the mid-70s, late 70s. It's been around nationally since 1974. It's women, infants, and children for women, infants, and children. And we serve children up to the age of 5, pregnant women. As soon as you know you're pregnant, we'd love to have you on the program. And if you're postpartum, you're good for 6 months after you have baby. If you're breastfeeding, you can be on for up to a year. If you have a miscarriage or terminate for any reason, you can still be on the program 6 months after. And it's basically a nutrition program. We do nutrition education as well as breastfeeding support. And we have food that we give out that's kind of a prescription. So it is based, it's nutritionally based food. And other than that, we do community referrals and just a great program overall. We serve, we are the Missoula agency, but you don't have to live in Missoula County to qualify for the WIC program in Missoula. If you live in another county, but it's easier to come to Missoula, you are more than welcome to. We have multiple clinics around the county and one in Granite County. In Missoula, we serve the U of M population. We just opened a brand new clinic at the Missoula Food Bank. So we're here every Thursday. You can walk in or schedule. And we have a clinic in Sealy and in Lolo. And other than that, it's just a great program. And we are now, I guess this is our biggest change. We are now on the card. So no more paper checks for anybody who's familiar with the paper check system. It's now an EBT card. They call it e-WIC. So you can just go to the store, mix your groceries into all your other, or mix your WIC into the groceries and go from there. So yeah, we hope to see you.
Hi, I'm Elizabeth Weaver. I'm with the Montana Food Bank Network, and I am their SNAP Outreach Coordinator. We run a SNAP Assistance Hotline, so it's a little bit of a different than other service providers, where SNAP is the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program. It formerly used to be known as food stamps, but hasn't been known for that for quite some time. And it is a service that provides low-income folks some extra money for groceries. It's a great program, and it's a federal program and administered by the state. So what we do at the Montana Food Bank Network with our SNAP assistants is offer folks the opportunity to call, or sometimes they can chat with me at a clinic or a tabling session like we're doing here today, and I will help them fill out the application, as it can be a little bit daunting, and sometimes there's just a lot of information and people get worried about answering it correctly. They can give me a call and I'll do it with them if they can't ever make a tabling session. We have a hotline number that I will share with you in just a minute. And so we offer that 5 days a week. And it's just another great service because a lot of times the local offices of public assistance are really bogged down and people have a hard time, or they have a hard time getting there if they're taking the bus. And in rural communities, we offer this service. It's statewide, so it's open to anyone who lives in Montana. They might be several miles away from their local office of public assistance, or it could even be in the next county depending on where you are. So it can be a little bit dicey to get into that office of public assistance. But for folks that are looking for that, so I don't mess up my phone number, the number that they can call is 406-239-6475, or they can email me at snap@mfbn, as in Montana Food Bank Network.org.
My name is Kim Gilchrist, and I'm the Food Access Program Manager with the Community Food and Ag Coalition. And so what I do is help coordinate the Double SNAP Dollars program. And this program doubles the value of SNAP at participating locations. So in Missoula, we have 4 locations: the Clark Fork Farmers Market, the Missoula Farmers Market, the Missoula Food Co-op, which is located on Burns Street in the north side of Missoula, and the Western Montana Growers Cooperative CSA program. And so you don't have to enroll in the Double SNAP program. If you receive SNAP benefits, you just visit one of these locations, swipe your SNAP card for $20, and then you get a bonus, an additional $20 to spend on fruits and vegetables. So coming up, we're coming into the winter, and the Missoula Food Co-op is the only place that you can use Double SNAP dollars year-round. So you can visit them at 1500 Burns Street throughout the winter, and then next spring, going into summer, you can visit the farmers markets, and you can also order a CSA share, which means that you make a commitment up front to pay installments throughout the summer to the Western Montana Growers Co-op, and then you get half off the price of your share, and that means you can pick up a box full of fresh vegetables throughout the summer. If you have any questions, feel free to contact me. My email is kim@Missoula, MISSOULA, CFAC.org. Thanks.
Hi, I'm Katie Burton, and I'm a registered dietitian, and I work for the health department with the WIC program. That's Women, Infants, and Children. And we're here today to talk about budget and meal planning and how to get the best bang for your buck with a well-planned itinerary before you get stressed through the halls. And this is my friend, Katie.
Thanks, Katie. So I'm Katie Sadowski at Homeward. I'm the financial education coordinator, and what I do is I teach people all the things they should have learned in high school. It's mostly I do it through a 9-hour class once a month, and we learn budgeting and credit and banking, insurance and taxes, everything you need to know to just flip on the switch and make your bank accounts go up and your debt go down. Today we're going to talk about that with groceries and how to make a living, breathing budget and a living, breathing, nutritious diet.
Yay!
So we kind of have, now we got to make a plan to enforce it. So if we were going to make a plan, based on this number we just made, we said that we were going to only go grocery shopping once a week, and when we went, we were only going to spend $40. Okay? Would you agree that that's kind of what we very simply came up with? Okay, so it's 40 a week, one time we're going, okay? The reason why budgeting doesn't work is because 2 things. This is usually where folks stop and they don't come back to their triggering events that make them spend money, and they don't make what I call a supported plan. So I like to refer to these guys as the demons, okay? These are like the really bad guys. They don't just come out at Halloween, they come out all the time for me. And these are the things that are gonna cause me to bust through my budget and force me to have credit card debt or run out of my food and I'm hungry at the end of the month or whatever it is. So to make a supported plan, we have to take into account what we said we were going to do, but also address these triggering events. So for instance, I'll start making happy faces. How about that? So next time, like on the way home from work. So I think, was that you that said that? Or you said, okay, so next time it's on the way home from work, but it's the 5th time that month that you want to go, you have to come up with something that you would either think about or do that would physically stop you from going.
Or if I ate lunch at work and I wasn't starving when I came home, then I probably not want to stop.
Yes, I love it. See, you're becoming so aware of your money behaviors, which you sounds like you've already thought about that one, but let's own it, right?
Yeah.
So, okay, or ate lunch. So eating lunch at work also requires, if it was a really bulletproof plan, that you would probably have to have some type of system to make sure 100% you were going to make that lunch, which I struggle with constantly. I hate to tell you this, but I did spend like $12 at the good food store right before today because it's Friday. I'm busy, I'm tired, blah, 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 right? Okay, that's one thing. So another thing we talked about was being stressed. So what's something other than, if you feel like you're being stressed and the comfort craving is to go buy some food, what else could you do to tell that little demon to go away and not let it make decisions for you that you don't want to really make? What are some other things you personally do to de-stress yourself? Go for a walk. Take a walk. Okay, so it's a walk. It's all sorts of... What do? I chew gum sometimes.
That's what I do. And I work at gum, and if I'm hungry, I chew these together for lunchtime.
Nice, awesome.
I also don't watch the Food Network either.
Oh my God, yes. See, I'm gonna write this. That's like in big up here, Food Network.
Where I work at, there's people that they have eating disorder, and they always have the Food Network. And I don't think it's fair for them to watch it.
I know, it's so true. It's so true. Yeah, and becoming, so this whole process is what I call doing the drill down. And the drill down is really having you take the steps to become more aware of your money behaviors. Because I could sit up here and lecture you all day long about budgets, but really unless we're addressing your money behaviors, you're not going to be able to change your habits to meet your savings goals, your money goals, okay? So that's the step one of a living, breathing budget.
We're just going to keep passing this mic. You didn't know this, but I just had it on you, like this.
You did, but you really had no idea.
Okay, so when we are preparing to go to the store, what are the things that we think about? Think about money.
Everything you need.
Think about everything that you need to get today or in an hour or when? It all matters, right? It all matters. Okay. If we go to the grocery store in a certain state, have you heard of the red state and the blue state of emotion? So if we're red hot, in food terms, we're probably really hungry. So when we go to the store, what do? You just get a lot of stuff.
That's why we go to Costco, because they give you samples.
Yeah. Oh, then you can satisfy both things.
We can go for dinner.
Yeah, or date night.
Yeah.
That's my date.
We're like, we're going to Costco, because there's food, we don't have to make dinner, and we can get groceries.
So Costco is creating an environment where it's satisfying that need, right? And then hopefully you can make healthful choices while you're shopping. Let's say we're at a place where there's no samples. And when I first walk in the store, I am like super hungry. Am I going to go to the produce section?
Carbohydrates.
I don't know. Where would we go? You maybe go to the chips?
I go to the cheese section.
Go to cheese?
Hello.
Yeah.
Hello.
So oftentimes when we're in that red state, we want quick calories. And most of the time, like, that's pretty impressive that you thought of fat first, because we burn sugar as fuel, and that's obviously, like, that's what we want first. So typically we'll go to an aisle where there's like a bag or a box of something with quick carbohydrates that we can consume right now and satisfy ourselves. Oftentimes there's a couple factors involved. Are they good nutrition, those foods that we're picking up first? Maybe, depending on what we get. But most of the time, if it comes in a bag or a box, it's going to have more sugar, going to have more fats, not healthy fats, but the fats with really long names that might not be good for us, and lots of salt. So when we're really good at planning, whether that's this morning for my day, or if it's a day off for the next 7 days, that will help us make a plan so that we don't have to do that and we don't make unhealthy choices often. So this plan, that's why I like this worksheet, because it gives you Sunday through Saturday, And honestly, this could be any day of the week, but just finding a time where you can sit down, you can use the internet to look at recipes, you can look at cookbooks, come up with ways to identify primary staples, whether they're in our house or they're at the store and we need to pick them up or replenish. And we can take healthful items to add to those basics. Okay, and the meal planner really helps us do that. And what is holding us back most of the time from meal planning? Time.
Bad cookbooks.
Bad cookbooks?
Yeah, ones that don't have good enough pictures in them.
That's true too. Or like, what if they don't have directions that we understand? Or like have a piece of equipment that we don't have?
Yeah.
Like there's lots of barriers to even a really great recipe. So I think it always matters to just go back down to the basics, and especially for preparing to go to the grocery store, because there's going to be some foods that we're going to have to use skills for and equipment for. What do we have in our homes? We don't have to do anything fancy. And that's kind of how this can help us. You guys all have a pen? You have a pen? You have a pen? Why don't we pick a day and just write down a good breakfast, lunch, and supper for you. I like that they have supper on here.
Should we write what we actually ate yesterday or something?
Yeah, that works. Something that you actually ate yesterday, or what you want to plan for tomorrow.
Did I even eat yesterday?
I know, what did I actually eat yesterday?
Are you saying today?
Yeah, it could be today. It could be what you want to plan for tomorrow.
Friday. I'm gonna do yesterday. I had oatmeal for breakfast. What'd you have?
So I had some cheese.
Oh, did you do like the Italian plums?
No, the little fruit.
Oh, they have Italian plums in there. I want.
They look really good. Yeah.
I want a bag. Oh,
I remember the good food store yesterday.
Yeah.
Oh, we had a potluck at my office, so I had like quinoa. I always forget the name.
Quinoa?
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 Shredded wheat. I can't spell. Don't judge.
I'm not going to judge you. You're going to hold on to this.
Salad. Okay, then at night it got back.
I had never had a Reuben before yesterday.
Really?
I was so excited to try it, yeah.
Reubens are really good. Lots of cheese and sauerkraut. Mm-hmm. Really good bacteria.
Myself, it was wretched. You make it? Is yours good though?
Well, it's really salty, so I started rinsing a little bit.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Okay, does everyone have something down for one day? Okay. So the next step, now we just wrote down one day, but let's say I'm thinking about today and it's me, my partner that I live with, and a couple kids.
Oh my God.
Does that change the makeup of this meal planning?
Yes.
What am I thinking about?
Adding breakfast and
yeah.
So acceptance.
Everybody, what everybody likes, what they need.
God.
Picky eating. Yeah. Yep, and I mean that goes down a whole other road of division of responsibility and parenting, and how we offer our children versus just serving different items. And that's a huge part of our budget, right? Is how are we going to provide proper nutrition for every single person that needs to be influenced by this meal plan. So think about that too when you sit down to this. Portion size is obviously a big deal. So if your recipe says serves 4, but it tells you that each one of those servings is a third of a cup or half a cup, do you really think your family's only going to eat that amount? So you may have to double the recipe or do 1.5, 1.5 times that recipe. So identifying on your meal plan maybe some little notes, like I'm going to need to multiply that recipe by this amount, because this is what is going to inform your shopping list. Okay? So this really sets us up for the next page. And I really love this worksheet because shopping lists, when we do them at home, it's just a blank, it looks like this, right? And when we make a shopping list, I might say, well, I need some eggs. I'm gonna get some chips and salsa, so I'm having a party later. And we probably need some kind of meat. And I don't know, I'm gonna get a loaf of bread and some milk. So I'll just write all those things down and I'll go to the store. Most likely I'm gonna get distracted. I'm gonna go down the middle aisles and be like, oh, we need some cookies. You know, like that happens, right? That stuff wasn't on here. So obviously it cuts into our budget and it cuts into our nutrition. And in the 2015 dietary guidelines, they stated for the first time ever that sugars, these discretionary sugars, literally don't have any room in your diet. Like, we only have so much money and nutrition to receive that this sugar category, we just don't have enough space or money for it. Okay? So now we can design our shopping lists with these food groups in mind. So that's why I really love this. And so you can take your meal plan and you can practice with what you wrote down for yesterday if you'd like, or your foods that you're eating today. And just write down under each category, or maybe even not. You know, there might be no fruits and vegetables that you wrote down from yesterday. So you literally would just write down bread, there's some kind of chicken. You know, I had a glass of milk yesterday, and I had a bowl of cereal, so that goes under grain, something like that. Just as an example of what this would look like. So then what I would do, and I try to do this with my husband, is we take our plan for the week, we write our shopping list, and then we say, nothing that we wrote down from our meal plan embodies fruits and veggies. What can we add to there, and how will that bolster the meal that we planned? Because experts say that of $25 that we spend, $6 should be vegetables. That's almost 25% of our whole $25 budget. So that tells me, you know, vegetables really should be something that we spend more money on. When you break it down, grains, protein, and dairy, each of those items, we really should only be spending $4 of my $25. When we go grocery shopping, what do we think is the most expensive thing that we purchase there?
Cheese and
meat. Right. And when you think about it, it makes sense, because when you're doing the more bang for your buck, 1 gram of protein, 1 gram of fat is 9 calories. So you're getting a lot of nutrition in that 1 gram. Whereas 1 gram of protein, 1 gram of carbohydrate is 4 calories. So it should technically cost more, right? Because you're actually buying more for your money. Yeah. But at the end of the day, most people complain more about vegetables costing a lot of money, right? But when we even it all out, they should be actually what we're putting more value on is that vegetable. And the amount of meat that we consume as well. 1 serving of protein that's meat should be only around 3 ounces. But typically, we're spending more money on something with 3 portions in it, but we're going to eat all of that at one go. So that's why it costs more. And that's why we think it costs more when we're at the store. We're just eating large portions. So I would practice creating some kind of, even if the meal plan is only for the next 3 days, and if there's potential for a leftover, whether you eat that whole item as one whole meal, or there's ingredients that are still left over. So maybe you still have half of an onion left, and you still have half of a pepper or some slices left over. Maybe there is a couple cubes of a protein, whether it's tofu or meat, or if you had a half a can of beans left. How are you going to incorporate all those ingredients into your second day of that week or the third day of that week? You know, like I could add those black beans that were left over from yesterday's taco meal to my eggs tomorrow morning. And then that way I can use that whole can, and it's not just either going to waste in my fridge, or, I mean, either way, it's nutrition that's getting wasted, and it's also your budget that's getting wasted. So meal planning with that in mind is really important too. And so going back and forth on this, and you can create this as well at home on a white sheet of paper, just based on these different food groups, and making sure that this embodies that shopping list. Does anyone have any questions about this?
Ooh,
Yeah.
I have a question. How much do you supposed to spend on fruits, dairy, and oils? Do you want to know?
Yep. So let's say, why don't we say your weekly budget would be, okay, we'll just say $25, and I'll tell you what the experts say. So fruit is $5, 20%. Budget for vegetables is $6. Grains is $4. Protein is $4. Dairy is $4. Oils and others, $1 to $2. And that does add up to $25. And so if you think about it, if your weekly budget is actually $40, then you could break it down and be like, okay, wow, I was actually supposed to spend around $10 to $11 on vegetables, something like that. Just in terms of general health and nutrition, if you are following something like the dietary guidelines that says a healthy person has a little bit of everything at every single meal. And I brought my plate to show you that.
Ooh.
So this is for women. We're all women, so that worked out well. And 2 cups of fruit a day, 6 to 8 ounces of grains. And grains can look like many different things. Many people tell me that they are going to just get rid of carbohydrates. And the one thing that they think about is bread. I'm just not going to eat any more breads. Hopefully no muffins or pastries. Grain embodies those things, of course, but it also is really important to our nutrition in terms of the grains that we choose. Quinoa is an excellent source. Kamut, farro, even brown rice. These are all grains that are packed with protein, fiber, and I mean, you would even imagine that protein would be involved in these grains. And they're a really great base for the other foods that we're consuming at the same time. So we eat little bits of greens throughout the day. That 6 to 8 ounces does not have to be in just breakfast and dinner or something like that. 3 cups a day of dairy. That has been criticized quite a bit, but that also comes from yogurt. It comes from cheese. You can also get calcium in many different foods. So if that is what we're trying to get out of this dairy group, if that's something that we cannot have in our diet, we can certainly get the major nutrition profile in the other foods that we're consuming, which is really important to know. Because this is pretty rigid, if you think about it. I think, well, protein too, I'll tell you, 5 to 6.5 ounces per day of protein. It's actually pretty small comparatively. And then vegetables is supposed to be 2 to 3 cups per day. I usually just think about it as a pick 5 for fruits and vegetables. You should have 3 servings of vegetables and 2 every single day. For the micronutrients that it contains, even more important than supplements, the water content in them, the fiber content in them, stuff that we will never be able to pull out and put in a pill. Those are our pick 5. And they should even be our base. Like if you look at this plate, fruits and veggies are the base, and this is kind of even supplementing it in a way, So if we think about these colors while we're meal planning, I think that will help us hit those different nutrient profiles every single time we eat. Okay, any other questions?
No.
Okay, I'll let Katie take over again.
All right, we're just kind of gonna sort of finish up here. I'm so glad you just introduced all that information, because when I got a healthier diet post-college, I got sick less.
Yeah.
I literally saw a major decrease in how many times I got the flu a year. Anyway, so I know
Super important.
I felt a benefit from all that. So you know, they actually, when we were preparing this presentation, they do say that you should never diet and budget at the same time. But this isn't really dieting, and budgeting doesn't have to be like that either. What we're really talking about is changing habits, and what I call check yourself before you wreck yourself, right? Like, if you're gonna wreck yourself financially, if you're gonna wreck yourself nutritionally, that you can slow down. All you gotta and make the change. You gotta just update your reality. Whether it's opening up the refrigerator and being like, okay, what do I have left over that I'm going to use for breakfast? Or in my case, what I teach people to do is make sure they're updating their budget mid-month. So like I say, we don't overspend and then everything's in the past and there's nothing we can do about it. You know, a lot of times I ask people like, do you believe in cavities? And usually everyone's like, yeah, totally, I believe in cavities. I'm like, okay, so what do you do because you believe in cavities? And they say, well, I brush my teeth. And I say, okay, so you know that it's easy to wreck yourself. You know, but some things are easier to see and have a more immediate bad effect than wrecking yourself nutritionally or wrecking yourself financially. And unfortunately, then you're just trying to make a change when, you know, it's already too late. But it's never too late because it's a really long life. It really is. So there's always time. You have people like us to help you. So we really appreciate y'all being here. I would love it if you ladies don't mind just like putting your name down, because this just shows that I actually talked to somebody. And if you want to come to me for that free one-on-one counseling, you can sign up here. I'll email you. We'll set up a time. My next class is October 21st. Which is not this Saturday, but next Saturday. You can sign up at our website, and there's a lot of great booths and stuff going on upstairs. So I have flyers and my card and all that stuff upstairs. So those are ways you can get in touch with me. How can we get in touch with you, Katie?
So I'm over at the health department. You can call WIC. It's 258-4740.
Oh,
And you can always ask for the registered dietitian. We have 3 on staff. If you ever have any nutrition questions, you can always call the health department. I don't think many people know that because we are a free service to the community. So I specifically work with women and children, but then there are 2 other dietitians on staff that work with all ages. So feel free to call us. And here's a survey for this event. You should do it too.